Hello everybody, welcome to Astrology and Magic, where we talk about the weekly transits, important transit updates with astrology, what's going on with the magic around the transits, and some other important stuff when it comes to spirit and spirituality and spiritual realms. Welcome to the show. My name is Valkyria Verdure. If you have been here before, welcome back. If you have not been here yet, but you are showing up for the first time, welcome. Grateful to have you here for sure. If you want to subscribe and follow along for the journey, follow along for more updates, welcome. We also have a place and a space for the blog updates. It's vordr.substack.com. It's also linked in the description, and it's linked on both of my websites, vordr.art, border.art, and astrologyandmagic.com. Astrology and Magic, the magic is with a CK for specificities, So both of those places are going to have different links. I've got some books up for you if you're interested in reading. Book of Spells 1, Book of Spells 2, Norse Magic 1, The Runes. Is there anything else that's going on over there? There's more writing over on the blog than just the podcast, so those updates will go out every once in a while. And over on the blog, if you are interested in becoming a financial supporter of the podcast and of the blog and of, just the content generally that I make on the internet too, I guess that's true, then there's a place to do that. It's $5 a month, $55 a year, or if you want to become a founding member, it's $333, and I'm pretty sure that's a one-time thing. I think so. I think there's more options than that, but I'm pretty sure that's what I got on my mind right now. So thank you to the supporters that I do already have over there. You make my life a little bit easier, a bit easier, a lot. You make my life a lot easier. But yeah, that's really true. You make my life a lot easier, and that's what it is. So if you want to do any of those options, if you want to check in with any of those things, they're going to be down in the description. Also the links that I said. Anyways, let's get into this week. Let's get into the show. It is officially Pisces season. Who else is feeling it? Because I know I am. Hello, spirits. Hello, ancestors. Hello, highest spirit. Hello, the gods. What you got? The gods, listen, let me be specific, that I have a healthy relationship with. It's been a lot. And I said it the previous week, it's getting turned up. We're the incline on the treadmill. We're pushing the button. We're going up a little bit at the end of last week, the beginning of this week, the end of the previous week, the beginning of this week. Now that we're in Pisces season, the North Node is in Pisces, Neptune in Pisces. Neptune and the North Node are about to have a conjunction this week. Saturn and Mercury we're leading up to a conjunction at the end of the week. No, is that true? When does that happen? Yeah, that's true, on the 25th. That's not in this episode, but it's happening soon. So we're about to have a really big season. It's about to be a really big season. What happens with the North Node? We have incline. It's an elevation. The North Node is meant to raise us up into the sky. Get up high, get up high, get up high. Do it over and over and over and over again. It's going to be uncomfortable. It's not going to feel very good sometimes. It's also going to call us to be more in our spirit and more in our practice, regardless of the sign that it's in. And then the North Node is in Pisces, which has to do with our spiritual time, spiritual space, spiritual reasons, spiritual seasons. Okay, so, and on top of all of that, the eclipses are coming. They're coming up. They're up and coming. We got some eclipses on the way. So there's a lot that this month is going to have to say. There's a lot that we are being asked to do. One of the messages that Spirit keeps asking me to bring through is that this month, the February and March time as well, we got to get up. It's time. We got to get up. We got to get up. We got to get up. And it's the mothers a lot of the time that are going to be coming through to help us get up. Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. Another one of the things that Spirit keeps asking me to remind other people, and, as I speak it, remind myself too, is that not only are the mothers coming through to say, get up, get up, get up, get up, get up, also, do you want to wait for dad to have to tell you to come and get up? No, let the mothers tell you to get up, get up. We don't need the father to come through if we don't really need the father to come through and tell us to get up. You know what I mean? Mom's going to be a little bit more gentle most of the time. And listen, the mothers have to understand a lot about discipline as well. So just do what's necessary and needed of you. This month is about to bring through a lot of blessings for you. If you have been doing everything you need to do, if you have been really working on your brew, if you've been keeping up and being consistent over the previous year or two, okay, congratulations. You've made it to your manifestation season. Okay, confirmation, beautiful. Messages, okay, arrival, here we are. This month is going to have a lot for you. It's going to have a lot for you. We got a new moon coming up in Pisces soon. That new moon is going to rule over the eclipse that's happening in March in Pisces season. That eclipse is going to be in Virgo. It's a full moon. What day is that happening on? That's on March 14th. We're also walking into a Venus retrograde soon. Mars is going to be going direct this week. Thank goodness. Okay, this is one of the things I'm really looking forward to, is that Mars direct, because as someone who has a lot of Mars in their chart, Mars is very heavily influential in the chart and my personal chart. Every single time that we have a Mars retrograde, my whole entire life gets flipped upside down, turned around. Not a bad thing, just a lot. It's just it's a lot. So this week is going to be intense. This month is going to be intense. So if you are someone who loves the intensity, well, here we go. Here's a season for you. If you're someone who maybe is new to a brew, maybe you're new to practicing, or you are a newer practitioner, hold on to the seatbelt. We're going for a ride, okay? So if you're somebody who is just a fair warning for people who are newer to a practice. Maybe you're newer to practicing magic. Maybe you're newer to honing your skills. Maybe your gifts and your clairvoyance and your different, worldly views of spirit are opening up right now. And you're working in some form of training. Just, really it's a white knuckle season probably for you. White knuckle for a reason. Sometimes you got to figure out how to drive in the middle of the intensity. Sometimes the rain's going to be pouring and beating down, and you have to keep the drive on the road. So if you're newer, just understand that this season, and what do I mean by newer? If you don't have a good set of fundamentals yet, if you don't in the spirit, because our human life is a spiritual thing. So our human fundamentals are spiritual. However, it does take time to learn how those human fundamentals are related to the spirit. So if you're newer, if you're still learning how your gifts work, if you're still setting up a practice for yourself, if you're someone who maybe, how do I say this? Just newer. If you've only been practicing for maybe a year or two, that's going to be a good time frame of quote unquote newer. Maybe 3 years. Depends on how much you've been doing in those years. But 1 or 2 years. If you've only been practicing for a year or two, okay, get ready for things to be really direct. Probably more so than you're used to. If you've only been practicing for a year or two, get ready to really be up in it. Be ready to be direct. Be ready to be corrected, possibly. Also, spiritual corrections are not always the most fun thing that happen, but you know what? If you can learn how to handle it, there's a lot of wisdom in it. So there could be some corrections coming through. There's going to be directions for sure. We're on the road driving somewhere. So, and it's going to be, again, pouring rain. So don't abstain from the pouring rain. Don't not go outside just because it's raining this season. Okay. We have things that we need to do. There's people that we've got to go see, places we got to be, spaces we got to greet, people we got to meet. There's stuff going on. We got to be out in the world. There is a world that is happening. So, and if we're not out in the world, and then we are not happening in the world, we're happening in our world. And we also need to happen in the world sometimes, because sometimes we have to happen to the world, Okay. So this is going to be a season where if you've got a reason, if you're standing on something, standing up for something, this is going to be a season where Spirit's asking you to stand. And I mean, stand and don't get knocked over. Stand and be in command of yourself. Stand and be in demand of yourself. Stand and really have a plan. If you need that, stand. There's going to be some unpredictable things. That's true. That's just what it is. That's life. It's also Pluto in Aquarius, the unpredictability. There's a whole season of that. We got 20 years of it. Thanks, Pluto. we got 20 years of it. So here we go. This is going to be a season that's going to ask you to grow. It's going to ask you to be uncomfortable. This is also, if you've ever grown, that's a great image actually. If you've ever grown an avocado seed, if you've ever grown an avocado tree from a seed, okay, you know that when you plant that seed, it's going to take a second. Okay, it's going to take a second. It's going to take a second. It's going to take a second. And then once it takes root, once it is like, okay, I'm ready to shoot, it shoots up. It's like a foot and a half sometimes. That they get really tall, really quick. It's like overnight. Hello, here we are. We're at this height now, and then they're growing leaves. So that's going to be kind of this season. Is like, there might be some growing pains. It might be a little strainful because we're doing a lot in a short amount of time. A month or two. Granted, Pisces season is only a month. I say 2 because we have the eclipses coming up, and it's going to be overlapping with the next season that we're going into, and like the new year of astrology with Aries season. So we are at the end of something. We're at the beginning of something. Pisces season is about transition. Pisces is really about transition. So we have this transition from the old into the new, and the old being this previous several years. previous several years. And part of this is because the South Node that was in Scorpio in 2021 to 2023, okay, that Scorpio energy, that's where the exchanges happen that are balanced in Libra. And that's where the South Node just was. And those contracts, whether we realize it or not, are bound up in Virgo. And that's where the South Node is now. So some of the stuff that we were going through in 2021 to 2023 is now being undone so that we can move on, or unspun so that we can do something new. We're getting out of the contracts that happened, contracts, exchanges, painful arranges also from 2021 to 2023. Did you go through anything 2021 to 2023 where you were like, get this off me? I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be this person. I don't want to be around these people. I don't want to be in this situation. I do not want to be here. I don't want to be here. If you ever were in that energy in 2021 to 2023, okay, well, things are about to become very clear. What have you done for yourself since then to change your situation, to change your life, to do things differently? What were you asking for in that previous season, also 2021 to 2023? Well, here we are. What did you ask for? Congrats, you made it. Did you make it? You made it somewhere. Hopefully you made it to the place you want to be. That's true, okay? This is also going to be a season that's going to be very specific. It's going to ask us to talk directly, speak directly, be direct, to be specific, be direct, because that with Saturn and Pisces is how we are correct. Pisces, this is a little reminder about some Pisces energy, okay? So one of the reasons, I'm not going to say I don't like Pisces, because I do. And sometimes their energy is not my favorite, okay? So the reason being is because they're the oldest and wisest tricksters in the entire astrology space. So every once in a while, when it comes to spirit, when it comes to things that are happening in the spirit, we get tricked into doing it for our better purpose or our higher elevation. Sometimes we need to be. If you really knew what you were going to go through when you signed up for what you wanted, would you have gone through it? If I was in the middle of what I've been through and you asked me that question, I would say absolutely the F not. Get me out of this. Get me out of this. No, I would have told you no. But now that I'm sitting where I'm sitting, yeah, sure, put me back in it. Put me back in it. I'll go through it again. So Pisces is the oldest and wisest trickster. So we, over the next probably couple of years, while the North Node is in Pisces, we're probably going to get tricked into some stuff, but it's for our elevation, and it's to help us with the things that we've been asking for, to help us consecrate some things, possibly on the earth as well. So just, be prepared to be a little bit tricked. Just be prepared to be a little bit tricked. Also, too, one of the things about tricksters is that they are, if you are someone who's going through any form of initiation, okay, self-initiation, spiritual initiation, you got initiation going on in your world, tricksters, at least from what I've seen, from the way that spirit has initiated me and from the way that my process of initiation has happened, tricksters are kind of there's like a whole phase of trickster energy when it comes to initiation spaces and places. And one of the things that spirit's been having me talk about over the previous several months, as Saturn and Neptune are finishing up their transits in Pisces, because Neptune is about 11 years, 12 years, I'm pretty sure. And then Saturn is like 2.5 years, just about that. And so since they're finishing up their transit together, it's like in Pisces, which is ruled by Neptune, we've got this really serious story of initiations coming to a close, and we're starting new ones at the same time. So it's like we're done with one, we're starting something else. We're done with something, we're starting something else. And because we're done with one, we're starting something else, the tricksters are like, okay, well, the kids are out here again. It's like, how do I say this? If you've got the parents in the kitchen or the grandparents in the kitchen and the kids just keep coming in the kitchen, they're trying to get, maybe it's like a family gathering. They're trying to get stuff done. They're trying to get things done in the kitchen. We got to get the food ready. We got to get the family fed. We got to get things finished, okay? The kids keep coming in the kitchen. What happens if the kids keep coming in the kitchen? And of course the work isn't going to get done because the kids keep coming in the kitchen. So eventually the grandparent, maybe it's the granddad is like, hey, kids, you want to know what? I need this stick. I need help with something. You want to help me? Oh, yeah, of course, Grandpa. Of course, Granddad. Of course, we want to help you. Okay, will you go outside for me? Can you go find a stick for me? There's this one stick. I saw it in the yard. I saw it in the yard maybe like a couple weeks ago, and it was this beautiful stick. There was this orange spot on it. He has never seen a stick with an orange spot on it in the yard, okay? He's trying to get the kids out of the kitchen. That's the whole point. I've seen a stick out in the yard. It has an orange spot on it, and I really need to find it. I really need to find it. Can you go out and can you look for it for me? And so, of course, the kids are going to be like, oh my God, yeah, well, great. Whoever gets it, maybe you can have some candy or whatever, okay? Right. The kids are never going to find the stick. They're never going to find the stick. It's a trick. It's a trick. It's a trick. But guess what? Those kids are going to go outside and they're going to look at the sticks and they're going to bring some sticks back to grandpa, and grandpa's going to be like, oh no, that's not it. No, it was different. It had this on it. And the kids are going to go back outside. They're going to put the other sticks down. They're going to keep looking around. They're never going to find the stick. Hello? It's a trick. They're not ever going to find. But guess what? Now dinner's done. We can eat. We can eat. Okay? So Pisces tricks, they're not always sweet, because like if I'm the kid and I'm looking at grandpa, sometimes I'm like, listen, why'd you waste my time? Go, give me a book or something else. Don't waste my time like that. That's why I don't like it very much. I personally don't like being tricked like that. Don't waste my time. Go give me a book. Tell me that I just need to be out of the kitchen, be serious with me. That's how sometimes I would rather it be serious with me, instead of tricking me into doing whatever it is to get me out. And also, there it is. Pisces is the oldest and wisest trickster. So one of the things to remember, because Pisces has to do with transition, and we're moving on from this really big chapter into another really big chapter. We're in a really big transitionary phase. Since we're in that right now, and we're going to be for the next couple of years, this season really like kicks it off. This is a really big start to it. This is like there's an event of some kind, or some kind of like really, really big, I don't know, like a sporting event possibly, okay? If there's a sporting event and it's like a highly esteemed two teams that are coming up against each other, and all like, it's going to be a good game. You have no idea what's going to happen. It's unpredictable, right? You get on a sports field, it's unpredictable. You don't know how the players are going to play. You don't know how things are going to go. You don't know how everyone in the crowd is going to react. You don't know what the refs are going to do. You don't know. We have no idea. And this season starts off some sort of like, here we go. Some sort of, here we go. There's a big, like, kind of explosive. It's not, how do I say that? I don't want to say that in a sense of like, explosions, hello, no. But it's some sort of just like really big, there's a really big, here we go. And really with the Pisces energy, I guess that's true. That's a good way to put it. Thank you, Spirit. Yes, that's a good way to put it. Is the Pisces is the rainwater. And one of the things that Spirit's been telling me about this season is, well, that's one of the ways to read Pisces. That's the way that I read Pisces. One of the things that the Spirit's been telling me about this season is that the rainwater that we've been brewing for the previous couple of years is grounding here right now in this season over the next couple months. We've got that water is grounding. And the way that Spirit's been explaining it to me, how this water is going to ground, how this water is going to come back into our lives, come back into the earth, is this sound. Okay? A big splat. It's going to land flat. It's going to be exactly where it needs to be at exactly the right place and exactly the right time. That's Saturn in Pisces, making sure that it is very specific and very direct. Oh, I love you, Saturn. I love you, Saturn. So it's also too, this is the final season where Neptune is going to be in Pisces on the eclipse on March 29th. That is in Aries. Neptune is transferring over into Aries. It's like within the 24-hour period that eclipse is happening at the end of March. We're out of Pisces season at that point, but just kind of some context of what's coming up in the future is like we've got some really big changes that are about to happen astrologically. So we're being prepared for that. Pisces is also about preparation. Okay, back to the dinner thing. We got to get things prepared, get the kids out of the kitchen. Preparation for a reason, preparation. This is a really good preparation season. Simultaneously, though, it's like everything that has been prepared for us and everything that we have been preparing for the spirits, it's preparation for several years. It's like for some people, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. For people who've been practicing for about 1 or 2 years, that's the period of preparation that you've got. It's going to be very specifically spiritual preparation. Okay, spiritual preparation is always connected to the physical, so discern for yourself how that's going to relate, and very specifically spiritual preparation. So with that spiritual preparation that's been happening for about 3, 4, 5 years now, okay, 3, 4, 5 years is a long time. three, 4, 5 years of rainwater that's just been collecting in a bucket up there in the sky, up high, and you're gonna land that in our life? Okay. Okay. Honestly, the severity of it, I'm not really sure what to expect. I don't know. Spirit was talking to me about it before I got on to record this, and I don't really know, to be honest. I just know that it's going to be severe, the severity of it. Severity. Intensity, severity, it will be intense. It will be severe. And because it's time to revere. It's time to revere what you've been doing. You've been sending offerings up for 3, 4, 5 years now. You've been doing the work for 3, 4, 5 years now. Think about everything you've been doing. Really look at the seasons of your life. Because I remember the previous 3, 4, 5 years, how do I say this? It's been, for me, on a personal level, okay, it's been like every 2, 3, 4 months, I've had this really, really big, impactful event that changed the entire trajectory of my life. That's not a joke. That's not a joke. It's been that way for several years now. So and it's been shifting me into different positions of like, I've got to get this prepared. I've got to get this cleared out. I've got to get this done. I've got to get it done, over and over and over and over again. So really look at the work that you've been doing for about 3, 4, 5 years, because that work, 3, 4, 5 years, Pisces with the rainwater, if you've been sending water up into the sky, okay, looking at the rain cycle, you've been sending water up into the sky for 3, 4, 5 years now. Think about really how much you've been doing spiritually for 3 or 4 or 5 years. And you're about to have all that land back in your life again? Spirit's got a plan. I don't know what it is for you, and also Spirit's got a plan. There's about to be a large coming through. So let it land. Let it land for you. Let it land, let it ground, open the hand, okay? We're about to let it land. Allow yourself to receive what it is that you need to receive. For some people, this season could be a little bit destructive, the deconstruction part of things. So if you find that deconstructive or destructive energy is around you, understand that is probably influenced by Saturn, letting you know that some sort of structure, some sort of hierarchy, some sort of something in your life is not actually protecting you for what is about to come up in the coming years while the North Node is in Pisces. So some bigger lessons could be happening with that on a spiritual level. It could be the people around you. It could be the places that you're visiting. Look at where Pisces is in your chart. What house is it in? What house is ruled by Pisces? And then any of your placements in Pisces, that's going to be where if there is that's going to be the positive energy too. Yes, that's true. And, things are not always only positive. Sometimes there's negative, deconstructive, constructive. That's kind of the opposites we're working with here. So there is going to be constructive stuff. And at the same time, if you're experiencing, because everyone is experiencing constructiveness and deconstructiveness kind of every single day, and also the deconstructive energy that could be coming through for you if you're working in that deconstructive energy or you're just in a season of deconstruction right now, because everybody's in a different season for a different reason. So if you're in a season of deconstruction right now, you're going to be sent into the places and spaces where you need to sit with the deconstruction work. Thank you for that verbiage, Spirit. That's true. Okay, so sit with the deconstruction work. For me, I know that's ancestrally the deconstructive work as necessary, and let the gifts land. It's the same. It's happening at the same time, in part due to the Venus retrograde. Because with the Venus retrograde, we'll get into a little bit more of the Venus retrograde another time when it's about to start in probably next week's episode. I did do a special episode on it. That's true, actually. Look at that preparation. Okay, shout out. Shout out to my previous episode. There's a previous episode about Venus retrograde and kind of like what to expect and how to prepare for it. So if you're interested in that, just go back in the playlist that whatever channel that you're listening, watching on, go back to that one. There's more information on it. The short version, okay, because that was like a 45-minute episode. So the short version of that is that retrogrades are binding, okay? So when we go through a retrograde, things ground at the same time that they're being rebound. So it's like we have things from the previous couple of years, year and a half with Venus, that are coming here now and being consecrated and finished and finalized, while simultaneously we're starting a new chapter. So that's going to be the next couple months. You ready? Because I am. I'm tired of, where I've been stuck. Get me out of it. In love, truth, free, honor, glory, elevation, gratitude, reverence, and love, and justice. That's true. Okay, so if you need there to be change is coming through. Love you change, love you rearrange, and I love you a little bit strange also. And that's valid. So that's Pisces season, okay? Welcome to Pisces season. We're here, we're working, we're going, we're growing. I also want to give a note too, before we move into kind of the weekly transits, because there is some stuff we got to go over, okay? There is some stuff we've got to go over. And before we move into that, I also want to give you a note that this is something that Spirit's been telling me for probably like 6 to 8 months now. Spiritual practitioners, if you would consider yourself a spiritual practitioner, I don't know what your practice looks like. I don't know who you are. I don't know what you practice, okay? And if you would consider yourself a spiritual practitioner, this season, and I mean the next year and a half while the North Node is in Pisces very specifically. And then we have, getting into 2026, Saturn and Neptune are doing some back and forths with Pisces and Aries. So, discernment on that as well, time frame wise. But the next year and a half-ish, while the North Node is in Pisces, that season time frame, okay. That season time frame, thank you, Spirit. Spiritual practitioners are going to have the upper hand. It doesn't matter the situation, doesn't matter the space, doesn't matter the people, doesn't matter the consecration. You're a spiritual practitioner, there's an upper hand for you. Do you understand what it is to have an upper hand? There's a lot of different ways that could be included, alluded to, understood, guessed about, not stressed about, okay? Spiritual practitioners are going to have the upper hand for the next year and a half. Do with that what you feel like you need to. If you feel like you need to do anything with it, I just feel like it's an extra note that the world may be in need of if we're listening to this podcast right here, right now. Spiritual practitioners are going to have an upper hand. So, as needed and necessary, move as you will. And it is what it is. And I'll leave it at that. So, beautiful. Starting off this week, 18th. Hello, hi, hey, hey. We have a third quarter moon that's happening in Scorpio. Now, this third quarter moon, a little bit interesting. It doesn't actually go exact in its third quarterness until we get into Sagittarius, but then at the same time, with the way that the new moon was in Aquarius, we had the third quarter moon happening in Scorpio. So sometimes when the moon is not always so specific and so direct like it is, but it's not at the same time. Plus, we have Mars retrograde that's still happening in Cancer. So this moon, how do I say this? There could be a lot with this moon that's like secrets revealed. Secrets revealed. Oh, that's why I feel this way? Oh, that's what's really going on? Oh, that's what I needed to see? Oh, okay. Well, what am I going to do with it? You actually are going to be able to have the clarity. What am I going to do with it? Sometimes we have to sit and ask that question. It's like, well, I don't really know yet. I've got to think about it. I don't really know yet. I've got to work through it. This moon is not that moon. This is not the moon for that. This is the moon for, oh, that's how I feel. That's really what's going on? Okay, well, I know exactly what I'm going to do about it, actually. I know precisely where I need to be. Precision. Precision decision. If you've been waiting to make a decision, or there's something that's been on your heart, something that's like, we're in the final days of the Mars retrograde, which means we're finalizing the reorder, restructure, rearrange of our priorities and its base fundamentals. Mars is about prioritization. So one of the base fundamentals is it's about prioritization. So if you've been moving and grooving, getting things reprioritized, okay, I'm looking forward to this Mars going direct. Mars rules Aries, and Aries rules the head. So whenever we go through, as someone personally who is a practitioner of many different mental magics, not tragic to be in the mental magic. I'm looking forward to Mars going direct. I need my head to be done further inspecting. I need my head to be done turning around. I need my head to be done. I need it to ground, okay? I need it to ground. Love you, Spirit. Love the Mars retrograde. I need it to ground. And that's just what it is. So with this moon, Mars also rules Scorpio though. So we're looking at that. Mars also rules Scorpio. So there could be some just like reprioritization that you're finally like, okay, well, I have the consecration, I have the understanding, I have the open handing, here I am, and I have it. I've been waiting for the clarity, I have it. I've been waiting for the gift, I have it. I've been waiting for the messages, I have it. I've been waiting for something, I have it now. So it's coming up from the underworld. It's Scorpio, it's coming up from the darkness. It could be coming up. Scorpio is very connected to the ancestral spaces and realms. So it could be coming up from the inheritances, different offerings that you've been making to the ancestors. If you're someone that makes offerings to the ancestors and you're needing some clarity, this is a great moon to sit and ask them for the help that you would need. Sit and ask them for the help that you would need. Again, this is the 18th through the 20th. Those messages that are coming through, they're meant to help direct you. We are about to go into a new moon in Pisces at the end of this moon cycle. That new moon in Pisces is going to rule over our eclipse season. Here we go. That new moon in Pisces with the start of that eclipse season. Thank you, Spirit. So true. With the start of that eclipse season, we had some things that are about to come through again. What did I say earlier about the gifts coming through, corrections coming through, directions coming through? We got a lot coming through. What are you going to do with it? This moon is going to help to prepare you. We also have Pluto in Aquarius right now. So if you have messages, it's like the unpredictable stuff. If you have messages coming through and you're like, I don't know why that's happening. I don't know why I would be being told to do this thing. I don't know why Spirit's asking me to prepare like this. I don't know why I'm preparing like this. I don't know why I'm sharing this. I don't know why. You're maybe not supposed to know. Pluto in Aquarius is, I don't know why I know, but I know. I don't know why I know, but I know. So this moon is going to have you know some things that you're like, I don't know why I know, but I know. Don't know why I know, but I know. I've been saying it for months now. Sometimes I just know stuff. Sometimes I just know things. And it's one of the gifts I've been given, and I'm grateful for that. It is. So that's the moon from the 18th to the 20th. Then we got 20th to the 22nd. This is going to be more direct in the third quarterness. So we could have, because Sagittarius also is the archer. Hello. We could have some more aim, some more understanding of like, okay, I have this clarity of these secrets and these messages and this thing that's been coming through that I, for some reason, didn't understand until now. I'm understanding these reprioritizing my spaces and places. And now, okay, I have the direction. Where am I going? Further inspection. Jupiter also right now is in Gemini, which is going to be ruling over this moon that's in Sagittarius. And Mercury right now is in Pisces, ruling over that Gemini. So we've got some transitionary conversations probably taking place. Sit and talk to yourself about it. Sit and talk to your friends about it. Sit and talk to the spirits about it. Sit and talk to whoever you need to talk about. Journal about it if you got to journal about it, okay? Talk about it, walk about it, get some things redefined, realigned. We're going towards the end of the moon cycle, so we're clearing some things out. Oh, I'm done with this. Where am I going now? Oh, I'm done with this. Where am I going now? One of the purposes of Sagittarius is to look at Capricorn, where all in the 10th house, where all of those hierarchies are, where all of these structures are, and say, what's my target? What's my aim? Where am I going to land? And this is, since we're at the end of the moon cycle, we're kind of shooting into the darkness. It's like we're shooting into maybe the future, because Jupiter, again, expansion. So shooting into the future somewhere. This is what I'm doing. This is where I want to be. This is what I want. This is what I want from the hierarchies, okay? And we're going to have to walk through the end of the moon cycle in a little bit more of the darkness, in directness. So we might not hit exactly the target. That's also Pisces energy. So we might not hit exactly the target that we're talking about with Jupiter in Gemini, ruled by a Mercury in Pisces, ruling over this moon in Sagittarius. And still look for a target. Still maybe look for a couple targets. I don't know, wherever you want to be inside the hierarchies that you're really looking at. Look at your 10th house, look at your Capricorn placements, and your Saturn. Yeah, okay, check those out. If you're looking at the hierarchical spaces, let your Jupiter and your Sagittarius and your 9th house help you figure out kind of like what's going on with this. Where do we want to be? Maybe like at the end of eclipse season, is there anything you want to go through in eclipse season, you know, because we are about to go through eclipse season, and Saturn is about to be in Pisces for eclipse season, and the North Node is in Pisces with Saturn. So we do have the opportunity. That placement and alignment is like the opportunity to be really, really highly revered and elevated with Saturn and the North Node and Neptune. Really highly elevated and revered into a way higher position. Because Saturn, let's talk about that for a second. Saturn is about pattern, right? It's about structure, it's about time and being orderly. So if you're really able to have those structures and that you're doing everything you need to do, you've been doing everything that you need to do. And at the same time, now that the North Node is in Pisces, okay, we have all of this rainwater from Pisces that's coming to the ground. The North Node is about being highly elevated at kind of a rapid pace or a rapid rate. So with the Saturn and the North Node being together at this time in Pisces, and we have the season of blessings coming through, there could be some people who skip some rungs in the ladder. You want to skip a couple steps? You've been doing the work, so you can skip a couple steps. It's like somebody who's been training a high jump, okay? We're going to put it into body terms. You've been training a high jump, and you've been training and training and training and training and training, and your repetition, you don't even realize it, but you've been doing more repetitions than are necessary. You've been training more than you have needed to. So now, when you go to do the high jump, you might need to high jump at a certain height, and all of a sudden, you're jumping like extra feet over that, and you didn't even realize that you were that strong. There's the possibility that this season can show you that, first of all. Secondly, when we get into the moon in Capricorn, it's probably going to become very apparent, like, oh, I didn't realize that I was able to carry this weight. I didn't realize I was able to carry this weight. The Jupiter, though, the Jupiter moon, the Sagittarius moon that we have from the 20th to the 22nd, that's going to be the moon of, how do I say this? Let me take my aim. What's my mark? What's my mark? Where am I trying to hit? Where am I trying to get to? Reach within those hierarchical levels, okay? And then once we get into the moon that's ruled by Capricorn, the 23rd through the 24th, we're probably going to start to realize, oh, I either overshot, I way underestimated myself, or I actually have a pretty good idea of where I'm at and what I'm doing. So that moon is going to reveal to us kind of more through our feelings, because again, this is in the time that we have, oh, interesting. There's a couple other things that are happening in this time frame, the 23rd through the 24th, while the moon is in Capricorn, okay? So this is a really serious week. We got a lot of stuff going on. So here we go. The 23rd, we have the North Node and Neptune. Their conjunction is officially exact in Pisces. Ooh. Ooh, what'd you brew? Ooh, what'd you do? I want to know. Tell me. What'd you do? What'd you do? What did you do? What did you do? What did you do? What did you brew? What did you do? What did your magic come through? Oh my gosh. You ever done a spell or a work or a ritual or some kind of something, a weaving, okay? And then you leave it. It's a different season now. You've been through the preparation work for that manifestation, creation to ground where you are, okay? You've been through the work to make sure that you can receive everything that you asked for. You've been through it. You've been through it. You've been through it. You've been through it. You brewed it, okay? You've been through the brew. What'd you brew? What'd you do? Oh, we're about to find out how much is really going to be offered. Here we go. It's either going to land there or we're going to get the information, okay? So information about the manifestation. The manifestation could be coming through. Just keep your ears and your eyes open, okay? Keep your dreams, keep them clocked in. Just pay attention. Pay attention, 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 pay attention. How are things working out for me? Pay attention. How are things really moving in my favor? Pay attention. Oh, I prayed for this. Pay attention. Oh, I asked for this. Pay attention. Oh my gosh, my gifts are showing up. Pay attention. Pisces, when it lands, the 12th house, when it lands, when it grounds, it's not going to look like what you asked for years ago. It's going to be different. Basically every single time, almost every single time, with exceptions in the chart, with exceptions in the personal charts. Sometimes things can be set up so that things are very exact and very specific in the personal charts. Generally speaking, though, if you're going to have a manifestation ground in Piscean energy, it's going to look different. Sometimes we ask for things and it shows up in our life and we don't even realize it because it looks different than what we asked for, what we were expecting. It's what we asked for, but it's different than what we were expecting. So it's our expectations. Letting go of the expectations and being aware of what is around us. Being aware of how Spirit's trying to ground us. Being aware of what's grounding around us because Spirit is involved. Yes. Not a problem to be solved, just something to receive. Not a problem to be solved. Where did you leave? Where'd you go? Where'd you leave? Where'd you go? Because now we're here. And you reap what you sow. You reap what you sow. So have you been sowing good seeds for yourself? Because this is also going to be a season, I was talking about the deconstructiveness, right? So if you've done anything, this is going to be for people who maybe, maybe you haven't been sitting in accountability because like all the hype energy, right? For people who have really been on it, okay? People who have really been on it, there you go. Cool. And for people who have maybe been avoiding some things or not sitting in accountability of things, or maybe it just wasn't time for you to see it yet. And listen, there's no shame in that. Sometimes we got to go through seasons where we're figuring out the darkness of ourselves. Sometimes we're going through seasons where we got to figure out, oh, I was kind of a horrible person in that moment. Oh, I really didn't mean to do that. Oh, I really don't like who I became. Sometimes we're going through seasons where we look in the mirror and it's not so clear, okay? So if you're going through a season like that right now and you're trying to figure out who you are and find yourself, and you're kind of like making up for things that you've done in the previous places and spaces and relationships in your life, then okay, this North Node is going to be able to show you, here's the clarity of the picture. This is really what you spun. This is really what was done. This is the clarity. So whether it's on a positive or a negative, and honestly, it could be both. It depends on your perspective. There's going to be clarity when that North Node and that Pisces are North Node and Neptune, the North Node and Neptune, when they're conjunct. Because if you think about it, listen, Saturn is the ruler of Capricorn, right? So during the moon, we've got through the 23rd and 24th, moon being in Capricorn, ruled by the Saturn that's in Pisces, and Neptune's the ruler of Pisces. So Neptune and North Node being conjunct means that basically every single thing that's in Pisces, we've got the sun, we've got Saturn, and we have Mercury. Those placements in Pisces are going to be influenced directly by the North Node. They're not just sitting in the same space, because Neptune being the ruler and having it be conjunct with the North Node, oh, good golly. So since we have this Capricorn moon, oh my goodness, it's going to be, how do I say that? You're not going to be able to hide on this moon. There's no hiding internally. There's no hiding from the spirits. You're not gonna be able to hide. This is also a moon where justice could come through for you if that's something you've been asking for. Justice practitioners, or people who are practitioners in the world of justice. Let me be more specific. Practitioners who are practitioners in the world of justice, and that's a part of your practice. There could be balancing or understanding or some judgment or some kind of finalization that comes through, or understanding. A verdict could be reached around this time. So, and just understand kind of the perspective. Again, neutral thing, could be positive, could be negative, depends on who you are, what you've been doing, what season you're in right now, kind of what's happening in your life. That is really true. So that North Node and Neptune conjunct in Pisces, like I said, it's going to influence all of everything that's happening to Pisces. Oh, that's a little bit crazy. And then also at the same time, okay, so this one I do have a time for. The other ones are just going to be days, but this one I do have a time for. The 23rd at 14:01 UTC time. That's when Mars goes direct in Cancer, which is going to also be ruled by that moon in Capricorn. So you're telling me that we've got this moon in Capricorn ruled by the Saturn in Pisces, and that Saturn in Pisces is ruled by the Neptune that's conjunct with the North Node. So we have this heavy elevation of our spirit, or this heavy elevation that is going to allow us to transition, okay? Heavy elevation that's offering some kind of verdict, judgment, a possible consecration of justice. And Mars is going to go direct at the same time, which means that we're finally able to turn around and go for a victory again. Oh, good golly. What is really about to happen? Oh, good golly. Hopefully it's jolly. I feel like it's going to be, at least for me. That's how I'm feeling about this energy. It feels like I'm really looking at who I've been over the previous couple years, because if you could also look at the time frame, let's give another example. Mars did retrograde in late 2023. Okay. It was right around the time, right after the South Node moved into Libra and the North Node moved into Aries. So we had this reconstruction, deconstruction of our priorities around that time. And again, I think I mentioned it earlier, I'm going to mention it here, retrogrades are grounding and binding at the same time. So it grounds what has been done, simultaneously we're starting a new season, a new cycle. Mars only retrogrades about every 2 years. So we've got about 2 years of battle, victory, priority. Look at everything that you were doing in the previous Mars retrograde. Again, it was like October, November time, late 2023. Okay, go check that out for yourself. Go see what you were doing. What were you brewing? What was your priorities? Then probably some of them are grounding now. Because this Mars is going direct, the grounding is done. We're turning around. Because when Mars is retrograde, the warriors come home, we're harvesting, it's harvest work, it's healing work, okay? When Mars goes direct, give me my spear back. I have a battle to go into. Give me back my tools. I'm going to fight again, okay? I'm going to fight again. I got a story to write again. I'm going forward again. I'm not thinking about what I'm trying to do anymore. I'm just going to go do it. I'm not thinking about what I want to do anymore. I'm just going to go do it. So this transition period, while the moon is in Capricorn, is placing us into a position that we have been asking for, that we have been kind of like dying over, honestly. Think about how long some of these transitions of Pisces season have been happening. Neptune is like 11 or 12 years. Saturn is, how long has it been in Pisces? Since March of 2023, all right? Mars Retrograde is the end of 2023. So really think about what you've been doing for the previous couple years, since 2023. What you've been brewing for yourself, what you've been doing for yourself. And for some people, it's going to be before that also, because if we're looking at the North Node and the South Node, again, the South Node 2021 to 2023 was in Scorpio. So we're in the process of unbinding those contracts and getting into some new ones probably too. What'd you really do? What'd you brew? You're about to find out. Oh, what'd you really do? What'd you really do? What did you really do? Sometimes we look at our work. This is for a perspective, okay? Sometimes we ask for things. Did you overbrew it? Did you overdo it? Did you ask for something and then you worked really hard for it? And then you overdid it? Did you do more than you were supposed to do? Oh, the spirit saw that. Oh, your ancestors saw that. Okay. Oh, and the spirits that are on your team, they saw that. The spirits see you. Did you ask for something? Did you cast a spell? Did you do the work you were supposed to do? Did you do more? You didn't even realize you did more. Some of you. You don't even realize you did more. Some of you. You don't even realize that you did more than you were supposed to do. Because for you, it was just the work that was in front of you. Okay, yeah, let me get it done. Okay, yeah, let me get it done. It's like Spirit kept handing you papers. Here's a paper, finish the assignment. Here's a paper, finish the assignment. Here's an assignment, finish the assignment. Maybe it wasn't a paper, okay, assignment. Here's the assignment, finish the assignment. And you got the assignment done in like 2 minutes. And Spirit was like, that was supposed to take you 2 hours, okay? Well, here's another assignment. Okay, well, let me finish this one too. So you've been doing assignments ahead of schedule. You've been getting the work done more than you were supposed to. The perspective I'm sitting in right now is like, Spirit had 30 assignments for you. You did 150. Talk about a raise. Hello. Promotion. Hello. Not a demotion. Not to demote something. No. The motion is not ending. We are beginning something different. Even if you haven't been doing what you need to do, there's still a promotion in the sense of we are moving into a different sense of motion. Let's talk about the spelling of that, to demote something, to let something rest. That's what demotion really is, to let something rest. We're bringing it to an end, to a stop of the motion, to demotion something. No, it's not a demotion. There's a promotion. Doesn't matter the position that you've earned, you're being promoted into something. The motion is changing. The motion is changing. The motion is rearranging, and it's going to happen on a hierarchical standpoint. What authority have you earned for yourself? It could be authority for some people. That may not be the exact verbiage. What position have you earned? Is there any benefits to that position that you have earned? And again, because this is happening in Pisces, this is what I mean by the spiritual practitioners are going to have a hand up. They're going to have the upper hand. A hand up, the upper hand, valid. Okay. What have you done in this? This is spiritual promotion. This is spiritual promotion. Like I said, that's connected to our physical world. Yes, it's connected to the physical world. We can't have the physical world without the spiritual world. We can't have the spiritual world without the physical world. That's just the law, the way that things are set up in this lifetime that we've got going on. So if you have been doing spiritual work, okay, think about for yourself for just a moment, for a reflection period of the podcast show today. Really look, since 2021, like the end of 2021, okay, how many times have you completed a spiritual assignment that nobody knew about? That's a lot of years. How many times have you completed a spiritual assignment that you didn't tell anybody about? Your friends didn't know about, your family didn't know about it, your coworkers didn't know about it. Maybe your dog didn't even know about it, okay? Maybe they did. Maybe your pet. My pet is a spiritually clocked in animal, so you know what it is. And also, you weren't having a direct conversation with them. Think about how many. For me, I know it's enough that I can't count. I can't count that many times. Every single time since then that you have allowed yourself to complete a spiritual assignment, you got up, you moved your feet, you got the work done. Every single time that you've completed a spiritual assignment in that time frame, okay, well, here's the rain. Here's the rain. Literally rain as in like the rain cycles and the rain clouds, but also rain as in REIGN, rain. To rain something, promotion, okay? Here's the rain. Here's the rain. Also a rain like on a horse. Here we're steering something. We're steering something. Okay. Thank you for those three, the spellings. That's true. So here's the promotion. Not a demotion. We're not stopping the motion. It's a promotion. Promotion. Let it sink in. Let it sink in. When Mars goes, this moon in Capricorn, honestly, okay, listen. The other moons I mentioned, I kind of like went over them, kind of zippity. I kind of zipped over them, okay? Because really, those moons, what is it again? We've got the 18th to the 20th with the Scorpio moon, 20th through the 22nd with the moon in Sagittarius. Yeah, zippity, okay? It's going to be preparation energy. Those moons are awareness. Take careness. Awareness, take careness. What do you need to know before we promote you? What do you need to understand before we promote you? What do you need? 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 And then there's a promotion. When Mars starts to slow down, you'll start to feel it. Probably around, how would that be? Probably while the moon is in Sagittarius, to be honest with you. You might start to feel it, depending on how your energetics work for yourself. You might feel it this whole entire week. I know I've already been feeling Mars slowing down, starting to get ready to turn around, and I'm getting a little antsy. I'm getting a little, hey, I'm ready, you know? So, hey, I'm ready. I'm really ready. I feel ready, at least. We're not quite there yet in time, so of course there's more work to do. And rest if you need to, valid. I'm somebody, just for you know, if you've made it this far into the show, and you're someone who watches my stuff on a frequent basis, I'm always going to talk about the work that needs to be done. Don't forget to rest, okay? Don't forget to rest. Don't forget to rest. That's one thing that people say in my comments on TikTok all the time. They're like, listen, I'm tired. Are we ever going to get a reprieve? Are we ever going to get a reprise? Are we ever going to be able to rest? Yes. My job on here is to let you know the work. Okay, so rest when you need to. Rest when you need to. So just a healthy reminder. Healthy reminder. You don't always have to be a binder. You can be a rest and an unwinder. Don't be stressed about it if you need to. I'm somebody also who sits in a lot of different responsibilities where spirit has me up and going pretty constantly and consistently. That's just my relationship with spirit. So if you're here, we're talking about the work. Sometimes the work is rest and healing. Okay, so you do have to sit with your feeling, sit with your discernment on it. I just wanted to bring a little note. That's what it is. Okay, we're gonna move back into this. The promotion's about to come through. And then I did not mention this on the notes, but I'm gonna mention it now. This whole entire week also on the 25th, because this episode doesn't go into the 25th, but I'm gonna mention this placement and I'll probably go over a little bit more in next week's episode. The 25th, we have a Mercury and a Saturn conjunction. Remember how I said Saturn is ruling over everything that's happening with the moon in Capricorn, the promotion, and everything turning around, getting your feet back on the ground, promotion. You're getting a promotion, okay? So Saturn and Mercury, okay, there could be a lot of messages coming through. Understanding, it's like this exemplary moment. Exemplary moment. If Spirit was going to place you into a position, not only are you going to know about it, not only are you going to be able to work through it, not only are you going to be able to sit in it and receive it and brew in it now, there's not going to be a demotion. That Saturn and Mercury conjunction is allowing basically this whole entire week us to receive more and more and more messages that we need to. And again, they're in Pisces, ruled by the Neptune and the North Node conjunction that's happening at the very mature degree of 28. 28 is a very late degree. We're getting really mature. This is a month of mature. What did you mature over the previous couple years? Several years? How did you mature? What did you mature? How did you mature? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh my goodness gracious. This is a week for the rulers, okay? You feel like you got something going on. You feel like you got a higher purpose. You feel like you got something out there. Can you explain it yet? That's not up for me to discern and decide. You got work to get done, okay? Pisces season is not necessarily going to be a fun season. This is a season where we're getting work in. This is a work it in, work it out season. Work it in, work it out season. I'm going to say it again. It's a work it in, work it out season. Okay. The work it in, work it out season is about to, you're going to look back in about a month, and then we're going to be in the middle of the eclipses when Pisces season is over, right? And give yourself about a month or two, okay? Get through the eclipses. You're going to look back. You're going to look back at where we, like, bookmark it, make a note for yourself, however you need to, okay? Just take note of where you are in your life right now, because you're going to look back in a month, and then you're going to look back in a month after that. So 2 months from now, you're going to look back and you're going to be like, I don't even recognize. How did I do that? How did I do that? How do I pull that off? How did I do that? How did I pull that off? How did that even work? I don't even know how that was even possible. I don't even know how that miracle was possible. I don't even know how that blessing was possible. I have no idea how that gift crossed me. I have no clue. None. I don't even understand it. One of the messages that Spirit was bringing through on one of my live stream readings the other day is that we're not supposed to know how magic works all the time, okay? Sometimes it just needs to be magic. Love you, magic. Love you, magic, okay? You're gonna look back in about a month. If you really, really like do what Spirit is calling you to do, what your heart is calling you to do, if you stay in the practice this month, over the next couple months, and you're someone who's already been in a practice, especially, and also for people who are new, it's gonna be a season, especially, oh my gosh, I can't even imagine. I'm going to for a second though. If you're a new practitioner and you've only been practicing for maybe like a couple of months, or you like just found the content that I create on the internet, that's crazy to think about. If you're like fresh, or a baby practitioner, a baby witch, however you would like verbalize it, okay? You're fresh, you're new, beginning. I can't even imagine starting to practice like around this time. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. You're gonna look back in a month and be like, oh my God, I don't even know. Stay grounded, okay? If you're someone who's really new to this and you're like going through the next couple of months, stay grounded. I guess that's applicable for everybody. That is true. That is applicable for everybody. Stay grounded. Remain grounded how you need to, because there's a lot of spiritual elevation happening. That includes gifts, that includes dreams, that includes messages, symbols, signs, synchronicities. The 222s, okay? The 222s, the 11s, the 31s. Here we go. Okay, 999. However, you would align. 999. Yeah, it's the time. It's the time. We're getting up. We're getting elevated. Practice as you need to, okay? Also, the North Node, I think this is probably going to be my final note before we end. The North Node, because of how heavily it's influencing everything right now, I just want to bring some more awareness and clarity around kind of like its purpose, part of its purpose, and what it does for us. It puts us in a position where we have no idea what we're doing sometimes. It puts us in a position where everything is different. It puts us in a position where everything is new. It puts us in a position that's pretty uncomfortable because we don't necessarily have the experience or have the skill to work in the thing that we're being asked to work in. The North Node is that spiritual purpose, no matter the sign that it's in, and again, it's in Pisces, which has to do with our spirituality. And that North Node is the purpose. It's the spiritual purpose that's way high up in the sky that we follow, and society calls us crazy. People around us are like, why are you doing that? But it ends up working out for us, okay? It's like the luck of the people who are working in the spirit. If you are working in the spirit and things just work out for you and it's unexplainable, that's North Node energy and influence. So if you really are like, no clue why I'm doing this, no clue, I don't know, but I know I need to go. I don't know, but I know I need to be in it. I don't know, but I know, you know? I don't know on a human earthly level, but I know. My spirit knows, my head knows. Spirits let me know that I know. I don't know how I know, but I know. Okay, sometimes we just know things. This is a season of the knowings becoming. This is a season of knowings becoming. If you know you're supposed to be somebody, if you know you have a purpose, if you know that you're working towards a greater thing, this is a season of knowings becoming. But those things do not become unless we get the work done, especially with Saturn around. And if Saturn is around, that means that there's more that can ground for us. It's not just about we know that we can become the thing. Saturn says you can become something even more. You can become something even greater. You want to be something even greater than what you can imagine for yourself? I'd like to see that. I don't know what it's going to be. I know it's going to be a lot of work, but I'll happily sacrifice for it. Maybe not so happily. I don't know. I don't know who I'll be in the middle of that sacrifice. You know what? I'm not going to speak it over me. Maybe I don't need to sacrifice and be happy at the same time. I don't know. But I know, you know? So that's this week's show. We got a lot to do. Okay, so go out, go brew, follow your intuition, really trust in yourself, really adjust. We're gonna need to kind of stay adjusted, take time to check in with yourself. There's a lot of change that's happening over the next couple of months, especially while we're in the Pisces energy. So just take your time and understand that we've got stuff to do, so don't go slower than you need to. Okay. You're gonna do great. Keep weaving your fate. And remember that fate is not ever late. Unless your fate is to be late. That's a different story for a different time. But fate is not late. As a being, fate is not a late being. Fate is exact and precise. Love you, fate. So, there it is. If you needed to relate to the fate, look, love you, fate. Love you, fate. So, here we go. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. And speaking of, I'm not gonna sit and waste some time at the end, you know, I'm gonna hang up. Sometimes my outros are kind of long. I'm gonna make this one a little bit short. Gratitude represents love to you. I do love you. Keep doing your work. Keep sending love to the spirits who love you. Keep supporting the spirits who support you, okay? And let the work that you have done come through. Let the work that you've done come through. You're about to be receiving lots of gifts, lots of lifts, lots of elevations. No reservations on those elevations. There's about to be a lot of elevations, okay? So let the work that you've done come through for you. Let the work that you've done elevate you. Let the work that you have done, really think about how much you've worked on. Let the work that you've done come in and elevate you. You've been working in elevation. You've been working to correct some things, let it come through to elevate you. And so it is. Gratitude, reverence, and love to you. I will talk to you soon. Enjoy the work coming through to elevate you. That's true.